Hey guys, let's talk about Turbo again. So I'm back in it, or at least in a trade. So to catch some of you up in case you haven't seen some of my videos in the past, I owned Turbo a while ago. I used it for swing trading. It was great for me for that actually. I just saw a pattern between it was like 0.003 and 0.007. Went back and forth several times. Loved it. And I've talked about Turbo a few times on this channel. If you guys have been here a couple of times, I'm sure you're aware. I'll talk about crypto I don't own. I have no problems doing that because usually they're crypto that I have owned in the past, or you guys have asked and it got enough of my interest, or enough of you asked, I dove into it. And I look at crypto for in the future for me to either trade or buy, specifically move profits in to compound those gains as the market starts really heating up again. And I'm going to blame you guys. I had a few people ask me to do more Turbo videos, so I have been. So I've been thinking about it more. I've been looking at charts more. And what do you know? It propelled me. So I got into a trade. So I'm going to spend some of the time, the second half of this video, bringing up the chart, showing what I saw. Obviously not financial advice. I'm nothing close to a professional trader. I just am a gambling man, and I know some basic technical analysis and have played with the patterns enough that I want to put some more money where my thoughts are. And the first half of this video, I just want to tell a little bit about things I like about Turbo and just kind of, I guess, shelling it a little bit for shits and giggles. And let me know down in the comments below if there's anything that I miss about Turbo that you like, how long you've been into it, just boost it up. What do I care? And so let's just hop into a little bit about Turbo and we'll pull up the chart. So a couple things about this little orange toad. So there's roughly 53,000 holders, which really I don't think that's too bad for the market cap. Last time I looked, I think it was around 320 million. Check tomorrow and it'll be different again anyway, right? So it's got a neat little niche. There's a little story to it, right? It was the first meme that was at least heavily advertised as made with AI. It was back in 2023. I think the story is he spent $69 on it, brought out 69 billion tokens. Everything's fully diluted, and that's a big deal, right? That one, dilution, again, has never really bothered me. Dilution, inflation, I really don't care. I need to know about it so I know what the vetting schedules is and all of that. But it's nothing that really, it definitely would never turn me off of crypto, but it does a lot of people. So when you see something that is fully diluted, and there's no inflation, which is more common in memes. And that's just great. People like it. And if people like something, it doesn't actually matter if it's good or just a piece of shit. People like it, they'll buy it. And thankfully, I think Turbo's actually pretty good as a meme. But the fixed supply is a big deal. The fact that it's anti-rug pull for the most part, meaning I don't remember his name. If any of you guys do, or you want to Google it, go down and yell at me down in the comments below. But the creator opened up saying, hey, this is who I am. That is a big effing deal, specifically with memes, because the reason why people rug pull is that no one knows who the bleep they are, so they can get away with it, right? As soon as the guy came out and said, I created Turbo, this is my story, this is what I did, that was a big deal to me. And I think it was to a lot of other investors because I just built a lot of confidence, right? And all of crypto is about popularity, community, and confidence. Yeah, I chase utility coins too, guys. And I can tell you utility is important, but is one of the least important things for price action, at least in the short term. Long term, yeah, of course it matters. But popularity still kind of matters more, right? Not to shit talk Cardano, but there's no reason why Cardano is such a much larger market cap and popularity than pretty much everything in the top 50. Doesn't actually matter. People like buying their ADA, right? And Turbo's got a great community as well. If you ever hop on X, one people talk about all the time, plus they send out little cute gifs and everything, right? Little photos here and there. And that's really a big deal with it. But the strong community is really what makes Turbo, it's what made Turbo good in the first place, is that there was a lot of people talking about it. They like the story of AI. And people have held on to this thing, like, to me, surprisingly long, right? It looked like it's becoming, or at this point might have became kind of a blue chip crypto for this cycle, as opposed to how many memes just cycle through, right? Even ones that hop on large exchanges, which Turbo's on like every freaking exchange. Again, the more exchanges on, the more eyes that can see it, the more eyes, the more buys. It's easy. So between full transparency of the owner, big community, no dilution, everything's already out there. Grab your stack of that 69 billion tokens. And a lot of people talk about it. I know I have a lot more to say when we're talking about utility coins, but when you don't have something with a strong utility, it makes it a lot easier. Now, with memes in general, I'm kind of waiting for another meme season, right? Like, I mean, we know we have our standard path to altcoin season, Bitcoin, Ethereum, large caps, and it goes, essentially medium, small, micro. It just kind of whittles its way down. But there's also different narrative bursts, right? And we haven't had a real big meme burst in a while, and I'm kind of waiting for it. I think it's going to happen relatively soon. And obviously, this is speculative. Take it with a grain of salt, guys, right? But we're definitely, in my opinion, fully still in the Ethereum stage, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum. But we're building up for the large caps. I think I'm going to do a video on this sometime this or next week. We'll see. But even there's a few things being boiled down in like the US government and a couple and just media in general that's kind of promoting what's next. So keep an eye on your large caps, guys, like Solana, AVAX, Litecoin. If any of you guys are, someone's in Litecoin, right? XRP to probably a smaller extent, but keep an eye on those coins, guys. But I think there's going to be a narrative pump of memes soon. And it's probably going to go with Solana, right? Because when we think of Solana, we think of memes. Yes, there's other things out now, but it's still the main meme hub. So as memes come into a boost again, the ones that are going to get the most attention are the ones that are on Coinbase and Binance that people have seen and that they hear. So, that puts in the Toshi, the Pepe, Turbo, obviously Doge and Shiba, but I don't expect them to do as well as they did last cycle. They'll still do well, but I think there's too many new and shiny objects for people to jump into as well. Yeah, with Turbo being on over 125 exchanges, I mean, and it looks like it might be on Robinhood and Bybit before too long. There's rumors about it. I didn't see anything to clarify. If you guys have, please let me know down in the comments below. But it's only going to keep growing. Robinhood would be a pretty big deal. Not because a lot of people go to Robinhood for crypto, but actually because a lot of people in Robinhood do not go into crypto. It opens up for more people that aren't really into it to get it easier. Bringing all the other Wall Street guys. And then there's a little bit of partnerships with tech upgrades, with collaborations of Aurora and Near Protocol, which has helped enable something called Turbo Chain. So it's really just a layer for cross-chain swaps and creator tools. So this helps add just like little subtle utility vibes to the meme. It just helps boost visibility and helps position Turbo to, again, run through meme season with everything else and be one of the front runners instead of lagging behind. So if you like little orange toads, Turbo is probably for you. And if you like making money, I think it's also a pretty good option. Obviously, do your own research. And next, let me show you some of the things I've researched. Agree, disagree? Let's look at this chart. This will be fun. Okay, guys. So now full transparency with you guys. I've technically not gotten into Turbo yet. I know. I've lied the entire video. I've got a buy limit set up at, I believe, not I believe, it is 0.00398. We might get there during this video. But this is a chart I put up, or I designed. This is a chart I designed, what was it, 3 days ago. So it's grown a little bit since then. You can kind of see here was the first cutoff for it. So we've had 2 or 3 days from. And I know this is not super clean as a bull flag, but it's clean enough for me to jump in on. And if I wanted to move it here, I could call this a little bit more of a bull flag, call it shorter. But I mean, this is pretty damn close. I did call it here, so that's where I'm going to keep it. But we could play around with this, and I still think this is a bullish pattern. Macroeconomics also makes a difference. I put this trade in on, it was Friday because crypto tends to go down more often than not on the weekend. And we did have a little bit of a dip Today had one going into Friday. So I'm hoping this thing gets hit. And it just looked very bullish to me of seeing this downward up and down and up. And this might have actually been the beginning of the resurgence. I don't know. Like this, if you guys wanted to say the bull flag was actually here, down to here, I've got no arguments with that. And that might be what wrecks me on this trade. We'll see. I keep a very tight stop loss, but I think it's going to continue going up once it bounces back down here at a common area of support. And that's why I put my buy limit right there at the area of support. I think it's going to touch and start coming back up. And I'm looking for about a 24% gain. So I'm looking at this 0.398 coming back up to about 4443. I'd have to check to see exactly what I set it for. But I believe it was a 24% gain. And I'm just looking for a small one on this, playing with a little bit of leverage, tight stop loss, and any profits I make onto it, I think I'm going to use to start a spot bag of turbo. I might do half, into it and then keep another half to continue with trading because from my previous experience, turbo's done pretty well for me as a swing trade. It's got nice patterns. And when you see patterns, obviously they are not foolproof, just like no other indicators. I got the 20, the 50, and 200-day EMA here with me too. And it just so happens that the support line is right there with the 20-day EMA, just under it actually. So if it breaks, it's either going all the way down a more door or going to come up pretty strong, most likely. And I'm betting on the latter, obviously. So just want to show a little bit. Again, I know this isn't super clean. It's pretty close. It's close enough for me to hedge my couple of bucks onto it. But you guys are going to see more of these little leverage plays from me. If you guys like it, let me know in the comments below. I will talk about them a little bit more. And again, I do want to overemphasize, I've done a lot of swing trading. Usually it's pattern based where I see something like Turbo or XRP just keeps going, back and forth between a very tight line. And I just go that way more often than not. Technical analysis does get more, technical. But I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on it. But I have made a good chunk of change from this. So I'm using a little bit less technical analysis and a little bit more of this is what I've seen before. So let me know what you guys think. Do you ever put in trades? Because I know I'm mostly a hodler, but I have been going a little bit more in the trading aspect. So I've talked about it a little bit more. And a lot of the guys that I've interacted with, I believe most of you guys are hodlers. But let me know. Tell me right down below. Are you a hodler or are you a trader? Are you a trader? Do you play with memes? Are you with like me and I feel dirty when I touch memes, so I don't do it too much? Let me know what you guys think. And if you've really made it this long, please do press the like and subscribe button. It helps me out. And I'll see you guys all again soon. Peace.